Thank you. So how many of you are working with RAG system, large language model? Yeah, someone. I expect this is trendy right now, right? How many of you put in place on the product that you are building or what you are building a evaluation system? Just 1, 2, 3, yeah. So someone is not sure. Today we will talk about how we can put in place an evaluation method to evaluate our RAG system, in general, our AI product that have open-ended response, such as a chatbot. First, before starting the presentation, we presented these last Friday at Applied Machine Learning Day, so I have to say thank you to Luca that shared the stage at AMLD. And let's say that we are working for this company, we have built a RAG system, and we have a demo, we are ready to present it. And in particular, in our case, our product is a very simple and just for the demo purpose product, is a robotic movies buddy. Basically, we work, I don't know, for Netflix or for Disney, and we want to build, we were asked to build a product that reply to movies question. The director of movies, the summary of the plot of the movie. We prepared our demo, we finish our demo, we make some tests, but we build a very simple RAG. It's very simple RAG, right? It's like taking from the vector store some content, making like vector search with the user question, provide the context to the large language model, and make the large language model reply to our user question. So, for example, we want to manually testing this system. So the screen is quite big, so maybe you can read it. What should I see tonight? I love sci-fi movies, but I have seen the most of the classics, such as Star Wars. We send this question to our RAG, and he make this reply. Now I give you like 10 seconds. We have tired with time. 10 seconds to read this and evaluate it. So, an impression is a good reply?
Too much text.
Too much text, okay. We like emoji? Maybe yes, maybe no. For me, it's too short.
Does it exist, that movie, or not?
Good question. Is it still moving or not? So, if the problem, you see the problem is an open-ended reply. It's not good or bad. Could be good for some cases, could be bad for other cases, could be too long, could be too short. We like emoji, we don't like emoji. There are also some factual stuff, like the movie exists or not exist. It's a true movie, but maybe it's not the, let's say, perfect movie to suggest for this particular question. So we need to improve this. Let's say that we find some error by ourselves. We are engineer, we are not a movie expert, and we need to improve it. Now, I see you opening Google and start searching how to improve RAG, advanced RAG techniques, graph RAG. The title of this talk is Beyond the Hype, because now it's very trendy RAG, and millions of methods to improve RAG every day came up. But right now, you don't need a fancy technique. What do you need is a good evaluation method to evaluate your RAG system. So again, I see you Googling. Open your laptop and start Googling again metrics to evaluating RAG. How can I build a RAG evaluation dashboard? A common error, in particular, when scrapping a product. We have said that we have just a demo, a little prototype. We want to understand how can iterate on this. A common error is to build a complex dashboard with a lot of metrics. The problem here is that data scientist or AI engineer start to look in this metric that doesn't have too much sense many times. Many times our large language model generated this metric. And they have any kind of scale, like they give a judge from 1 to 5. But what does it mean, like 4? The question of before has 4 in faithfulness. Many times doesn't mean anything. Why I should, when I should vote a reply 3 or 4? It's not clear. So avoid the urge to start to find all the metric. This is a common error that I see in our client or when we build some product. The first thing that you should have when you are building and you want to evaluate an AI product is a subject matter expert. If you are building, I don't know, a product that reply to your employee for human resources response, you maybe could involve the HR manager. If you are building some chatbot that must reply to technical questions, you must involve the IT of the company. The subject matter expert is someone that need your product, know very well what we must expect from the product. This is the first thing you must involve. Of course, in our case, is a demo sample, so we can like involve a, I don't know, if we are working in Netflix, a movies manager, I don't know. But someone that know very well what to expect from your product. So what we could ask to our subject matter expert. Here we are doing from 0 to 1 step. We are building the first building block of our evaluation system. Yes, we could ask to provide us some questions, some example, but the subject matter expert maybe is not a techniques, don't want to lose time on our product. So we should find some way to provide a synthetic question dataset to send to the subject matter expert with the response from our RAG system and ask him to evaluate it. Now I have prepared some, maybe I could zoom it a little bit. Let's close this, yeah. Could you see? Okay. A wall of test. So, open AI key. Sorry. Now, what could we send? We must generate some question to send to our RAG and send the question and the response to our subject matter expert. This is the first step to try to improve our RAG. So we should find some dimension to use to generate this question. So for example, here I use 3 dimensions. For every use case, we could change a little bit, but this is a very general, there are 3 general dimensions on weekend working on. Like we should think a little bit more like a product manager, like which feature we want that our RAG system will apply, like for example, movie recommendation, movie synopsis, movie metadata. We should think about which scenarios which scenario we should make our RAG system response, like generic question without details, question not related to movies, or toxic question. What if some user will send to our RAG system some toxic question, or I don't know. And at the end, a list of personas, like who will be the user of our tool, like a movie enthusiast, some new user of our platform, or I don't know, some elderly people, if I'm building some particular product for hospital, and so on. So we should change a little bit the perspective from an engineering standpoint to a more product mentality. So now we can write by hand the question, but we have large language model, and we could ask large language model to write for us this synthetic dataset to make the first step. So here I'm building a very simple system message. Act as you are an AI system tester. The user is a domain expert that must evaluate the answer generated by an AI system of your question. And I send some rules, like the question should test only the following product feature, the feature that we listed before. The question should test only the following user scenario, again, the scenario that we built before, and you must generate the question impersonating only the following persona. I build a prompt, generate an evaluation dataset with no more than 10 rows in this case. I build the dataset, and here is like the final prompt. And I send to, in this case, GPT-4, but we could use any LLM, any provider, whatever. And the model generates some question. Let's see a little bit. Like every question has the 3 dimension on that we provide. Like, can you recommend a movie similar to Inception? Is a movie recommendation. It's sent by a movie enthusiast, and is a generic question without details. Or let's see something else. Like, what is the cast of Titanic? It's asking for movie metadata because it's asking, sorry, I lost it. It's asking for movie metadata because it's asking for the cast of the Titanic. It's not something related to the plot of the movie. It's more like on metadata. And it's a generic question. And so on. So here we have generated 10 response. How many questions our domain expert will need? This is up to you. He's a human, so, and he will need to evaluate this question. How many? 10, 20, 50? It depends on the situation. But this could help us to have the real idea of what we expect, which response we expect from this dataset. So again, the same question. Now what we should do? We should like export this question, do a for loop, send to our product, this maybe is on FastAPI or whatever, make this product reply, make the product reply and send the tuple of question and answer to the domain expert and wait for his response. Now, our domain expert will reply to this question. Oh, sorry. The subject matter expert will reply to the question, and again, the metric stuff. I invite to, you must invite the domain expert to respond with just fail or pass. Our rack system replied for you is a fail or pass. No fancy metric, no middle evaluation, fail, maybe not, fail or pass. And provide a critique. Why is failing, why is passing. After this step, we could start reading the response of our domain expert and start making some error analysis. Okay, and make some group by on the question, for example, and say, okay, it always be wrong on the type of movie, or the metadata is not quite good, it reply with wrong director, and so on. So now we build the step 1. But of course, if you think about, you can start iterating over your RAG, of course. You can start using, modifying the prompt, modifying the system message, add some simple technique. But when you put in production your code, you can't, of course, imagine that the domain expert will analyze all the response of your model. You need some automatic tool to reply, to make an evaluation of your system. Of course, we can build a large language, what is called a large language model as a judge. Like we could make automatic judgment of our system. How we can build that? So, again, large language models are here to help us. There is a little bit of, okay. So again, another system message. What I'm asking here, our model are, you are a movie expert chatbot evaluator with advanced capability to understand if the question response is good or not. Follow some guideline to evaluate the system. We provide you with some example to give you an idea of how a good response should be. So let's go to the final prompt. What we have here, there is some delay, sorry. Yes. So here we are providing some guidelines, the same guidelines that we sent to the domain expert, like provide a pass or fail outcome, no other categories admitted, very straightforward. And provide a comprehensive and clear explanation of why you gave the outcome, in particular for the fail one, of course. And we provide some example, like how we expect you to evaluate this model. Why is important, again, the domain expert? Because it's the one that can help us to build this example. Because we don't know anything about the domain, maybe, or we are not expert as our domain expert. So we could say, here I put just 2 examples, one for the pass and one for the fail. So here, could you suggest an action movie? And here is a response from our RAG system. The outcome is pass. The system replied with an action movie correctly. The response is brief but well explained. Again, another example, give me a summary of Dune 2. I'm sorry, but I don't have information about Dune 2. My expertise cover movie plots, metadata, and so on. Fail. The system should reply the question regarding movie summary. It seems that it can't find the movie in the context. So I give 2 examples, but this is a technique called a few shot. You can do whatever example you want. And you can't do, why we didn't start to do this? And we start with the domain expert manually. Because we need human to understand what we expect, to understand which example we should put in our large language model. So what we have here? Here we have an example of the evaluation. Okay, we have an example of the evaluation of the domain expert. So we have some question, we have some features, some scenario, some persona. We have the RAG answer, and maybe we don't see this. And we have the domain expert evaluation. Pass, fail, 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 a lot of fail. Pass, fail, fail, with some comment given by a human. We format question, we format our final prompt. So we are asking our LLM, evaluate our AI system answer to given question, and we provide the same list of questions that we give to the human. We understand why in a moment. So here we have the final prompt that we are sending to the large language model. So with a list of questions that it should evaluate, with the question and the answer, of course. OpenAI key secret. We send our system message to our OpenAI model or whatever, and we have a response from our large language model as a judge. So pass, 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 some fail, some pass. Now what we should do, we have the same question, the same answer from the RAG system, and we have the domain expert and the domain expert response and the large language model response. What we should do? The idea here is to iterate over the large language model as a judge tool, the system that we build right now, at least until it aligns with the domain expert. So we should add some more example, maybe some more guidelines if we need it. In that way, we must sure that our large language model as a judge is at least aligned with our domain expert. So we could expect that if we, as far as we know, of course, if we send some question to the large language model, more or less it will have the same evaluation than the human. So that's it. minute. It's hard to go to. Okay. So now that we have some, okay. So now that we have our evaluation system in production, and we can, for example, I don't know, take the 10% of all the questions that users send to our system, and we can evaluate how it goes. We can iterate and improve our RAG. We can start searching on Google how to improve our RAG. Now we are sure that if we change the model of our RAG, or if we change the retrieval method, we are sure, quite sure, that we will not have a regression. This is not a final process. Again, evaluating is iterative. We can, in, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 months, again ask for subject matter expert, again iterate on our evaluated. But we have our back covered by the evaluation system. So this is again the code that we see very quickly right now is a workshop that we had, and all the code is public, and you can work to the code, run the code, send us some issues if you find some issues in the code, maybe, probably. And so I give you some time to scan the QR code. And thank you. I'm Fabio Lipreri. I work for Xtream as a AI engineer, and Luca, well-known PyData Luca. And we have some time for the question, I think.
Hello. Firstly, thank you. It's really interesting. My question is, maybe I didn't see it, but the model that you used as a judge, like I saw that you used GPT-4o as the model, like to answer the question, like to give you the questions, the model that you use as a judge. And second question is, like you go iteration on the prompt of the judge. You don't work on the model, like that gives you the answer or the parameters
Exactly.
on the, like.
Yeah. So the question was, the first question, if I get it correctly, is which model I use for the judge, let's say, and is GPT-4, if I remember. But this is a big debate, because someone think that you must use a strong model to generate response, and the less strong model to judge, because everyone, like, this is like a philosophical question, like everyone can see that a movie is a cool movie, but we can't produce a good movie. So some people say that a good model must generate the answer, because you need some good model to generate something good, but you need a less performative model to judge something. And some other people say the exact opposite stuff. So or same model. So this is a debate in the AI engineering community. And the second question was, let me repeat the second one, please.
It's like the fixing, the iteration of fixing, you do it
Yeah.
on the judge. Like.
There are two iterations, like the product iteration, and you can do the product iteration just only if you have an evaluation system. So the last step before using the evaluation system is to iterate on the large language model as a judge, not on the product, until it reach the same level of judgment of the expert. Now we did with 10 questions, but of course you have more questions, more data to, of course, to have a more different kind of question. Maybe we have a very simple example. If you have an evaluation model put in place, you can start iterating on your model and improve it. And maybe the fail will be pass, and so on. I don't know if I replied. Another, I don't know the order, yeah.
Hi, thanks for the presentation. Just to surf the hype, do you think that, according to what you just said, so you think that agentic AI in this scenario can be useful in the sense that, you know, maybe the source of truth for a evaluation model could be, I don't know, a call to a database of movies, like for example.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're asking if, for example, a large language model as a judge could be an agentic that read from database and so on to know. Yeah, here the problem is that yes, could be, but the human side is very important because it's not a problem of the response is good or bad in general, but is a matter of the response of my RAG or my AI system is good or bad for my use case. For example, so maybe this just an agentic system could not reply to this. You need the example that I put to my large language model came from our domain expert. So for example, for, I don't know, a chatbot, we need a long response. For another context like, I don't know, some people that is working and you can't provide a wall of text, just 2 words to make him understand what he should do. It's another kind. That's why you need more a product mentality when you develop this kind of RAG system. So, but yeah, the agentic large language model as a judge could be something. Maybe it's too much. I always be on the simple side. Simple stuff works. Like for the first step, it's better to have something not super fancy, but that it's work from the step 1 and later on iterate over it. Instead of spend 1 year of developing a super cool agentic evaluating system, but you need to wait 1 year. That's my point. So I don't know. The real response is I don't know right now, but could be.
Thank you for your speech. I find it quite interesting. I had a question about the alignment of the evaluator, the judge, with the expert-provided feedback. I understood that you're doing some sort of few shotting plus manual prompting of the judge. I was wondering if you found that this way has always been successful. If you maybe fine tuning, was it ever considered? So that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. The question was, should I repeat it? Yeah. Yeah. Could be fine tuning for sure. Could help in building a specific evaluating system. Yes, I never tried. Because fine-tuning, you need a curated data set, you need the resources to do fine-tuning, so it's not everyone could make fine-tuning, let's say, and not in the. I wouldn't suggest in the first step. That's what I'm stressing in this. I'm advocating like start having an evaluation system, but yes, fine-tuning could be, you must always evaluate the cost of doing fine-tuning.
Okay, one last question before the aperitivo, then you can ask, continue asking you to.
So basically your pitch is that it's crucial to have this human expert in the loop. Why do you need a human expert? Why not just show it directly to users, show them to answers, let them pick directly? It's like why wouldn't one do that? Why is it advantageous to have an expert?
Like to have an expert instead of start sending our question to the large language model?
No, actually directly to users. So could you just provide 2 answers, asking users which one do you like?
Yeah.
It's like you see this ChatGPT, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, this is a way like build. This is another way of having a domain expert, like asking user to provide feedback on your question. I think that users will not be involved as much as a domain expert. I don't know how many of you write a critique to a response. Maybe you say, yeah, this is fail, but you don't know why maybe. And but yes, you should think like a UX to make user write the critique, because the critique is the part important to make error analysis. The domain expert is someone that is involved in building your product. So it's someone that wants the success of the product for himself, or I don't know, maybe he's a product owner, maybe he's a manager, or maybe he's an expert and want the success of the product. So it will probably take some time to provide real feedback to your stuff. And another problem with user is that they are the real final truth of source, but they don't know what is correct or not. If you are building, for example, a tool that make complex, I see some like use case of a AI that generate like a database filter. Maybe the user could say it doesn't work, but maybe the domain expert know why it doesn't work and so on. But it's another strategy of having feedback, because many times you don't have a domain expert. So the point is having some human source.